The mud was thick, a viscous stew of blood and rain. 10 years. 10 years Link had fought. A decade etched in the lines of his scarred face. A lifetime spent wielding the Master Sword against the endless tide of Ganon's hordes. The fields of Hyrule, once vibrant and green, were now a charnel house. He'd seen comrades fall, friends become ghosts, and the light in Zelda's eyes dim with each passing siege. Today the battle had been a maelstrom. The air crackled with dark magic. The ground trembled under the weight of monstrous hooves. And the screams were a constant, a sickening symphony. Now, only 2 figures remained. Link, his armor battered and stained, his breath ragged, and Ganon, a hulking monument to pure, unadulterated evil. Hours blurred into a brutal, balletic dance of steel and fury. Link, driven by a desperate, primal rage, fought with a ferocity born of exhaustion and loss. Ganon, his eyes burning with malevolent power, countered with a strength that seemed inexhaustible. Finally, with a desperate, lunging strike, Link's blade found its mark, severing Ganon's monstrous arm. Ganon roared, a sound that shook the very foundations of the ruined battlefield. As Link raised the Master Sword for the final blow, Ganon, his voice a guttural rasp, uttered an incantation. A dark, swirling energy pulsed around him. But Link, his vision clouded with battle lust, didn't hesitate. He brought the blade down, cleaving Ganon's head from his shoulders. Silence descended heavy and thick. Link, panting, stood amidst the carnage, the Master Sword dripping with dark blood. He felt a strange, unsettling chill, but dismissed it as the lingering residue of Ganon's magic. The journey back to Hyrule Castle was a blur of exhaustion. The once familiar landscape seemed alien, tainted by the years of war. A gnawing unease settled in his gut, a feeling that grew stronger with each step. His muscles ached, his head throbbed, and a strange burning sensation spread through his veins. By the time he reached the outskirts of the first village, the change was complete. The light in Link's eyes had flickered and died, replaced by a cold, predatory gleam. The villagers, seeing the familiar hero, rushed forward, their faces filled with relief. They were met with a massacre. The Master Sword, once a beacon of hope, became a tool of slaughter. Link moved with a terrifying efficiency, his movements fluid and deadly. The screams of the innocent echoed through the streets, a chorus of terror that fueled the darkness within him. The village, once a haven, became a slaughterhouse. The castle loomed, a stark silhouette against the blood-red sky. The guards, their faces etched with horror, tried to stop him, but they were mere obstacles, easily dispatched. He moved through the halls, a phantom of vengeance leaving a trail of carnage in his wake. He reached the throne room. Zelda, her face pale and drawn, sat upon the throne, her eyes wide with disbelief. The 5 royal guards, their swords drawn, stood before her, a desperate bulwark against the approaching darkness. Link moved like a wraith, a whirlwind of steel and death. The guards fought bravely, but they were no match for the corrupted hero. Their bodies fell one by one, their blood staining the pristine marble floor. Zelda rose, her voice trembling. "Link, what have you done? What has become of you?" He didn't answer. He simply walked towards her, his eyes burning with a malevolent light. Zelda pleaded, her voice breaking, begging him to remember who he was. But the words were lost in the abyss of his corrupted soul. He stopped before her, the Master Sword raised. With a slow, deliberate movement, he drove the blade into her chest, the steel piercing her heart. Her eyes widened in shock and betrayal, and then she slumped forward, her lifeblood staining the throne. He pulled her limp body from the throne and sat in her place. A slow, cruel smile spread across his face. His eyes glowed a malevolent red. A chilling, unholy laugh echoed through the castle. A sound that promised only darkness and despair. A sound that the entire kingdom heard. The spell Ganon cast was not a killing blow. It was a corruption. A dark seed that took root in the heart of the hero, and blossomed into a nightmare.